So our first stretch here, we're already in our standing position. We don't have to do anything crazy for this first one. We're gonna go into a lateral lunge stretch. So all of these stretches, this list of stretches we're going through today, are based off of the 12 most important stretches as recommended by the American College of Sports Medicine. So these are the key stretches to stretch out almost every main muscle group in our body. So our first one here, we're gonna start off about 20 seconds on each side. We're gonna go to a lateral lunge stretch. We're gonna do each side twice, okay? So we're gonna step out wide to the side here. Ankle, hip, knee, hip, ankle, over the foot you're leaning over. Other leg extended out to the side straight. And then you can lean on that thigh there. You're lean on there with your forearm. We're gonna hold this for about 20 seconds. Now you're gonna feel the stretch on the inside of that extended leg. Hold that position. So hold that position here. We're gonna go about 5 more seconds, so we'll switch to the other side. And go and slowly switch over to your other side here. Same thing now. Hip, knee, ankle over your other foot, other leg extended. Again, you should feel the stretch on the inside of the leg. Those muscles here are called your adductor muscles. Adductor muscles, muscles that we don't stretch out as often, so this is an important one. We'll hold this one for about 5 more seconds, and then we'll go back over to the other side one more time. Go and switch over to the other side. Same thing with the side we started on. Something else I'll tell you, as we're going through these stretches, if you feel any pain, bring that stretch back just a little bit here. Hold that stretch a few more seconds. I'm gonna let somebody else that's waiting in our waiting room here. Thanks for joining. So we're just holding a lateral lunge stretch. Go and switch over to your other side. Same thing with our lateral lunge stretch. Feeling that stretch on the inside of your opposite leg, that extended leg. We're gonna go 5 more seconds on this side, then we're gonna go to the next stretch. Perfect, and bring it back up to the top. So, we stretched out the inside of our legs here. We're now gonna go to our calf muscles. We've probably done this stretch in prior boot camp, prior Move Monday boot camps. I know we've done this one before, but this is gonna be a calf stretch here. Calf stretch here, a leaning calf stretch. I'm gonna show you sort of from the side angle. I'm gonna have one foot forward, bended in that front knee. My other leg is gonna be back, but straight, keeping my foot on the floor. I'm gonna lean forward and put your hands on the wall. That'll make it a little bit easier to keep your balance, but you're gonna lean forward until you feel that stretch in your calf. As soon as you feel a good stretch, hold that position. It's okay if you feel a little bit of tightness, maybe a little bit of discomfort. That's not a bad thing with the stretch, but if you do start to feel pain, bring it back just a little bit. Go and switch over to your other side. Same thing with your other leg. Same thing, about 20 seconds on the other side. Front knee bent, back leg straight, keeping that back heel on the floor. Leaning forward until you feel a good stretch. Once you're there, hold that position. We're gonna do this one about 5 more seconds, so we'll go back to our other leg that we started with here. All right, go and switch back to your other leg, same thing. So again, for those of you that were just joining, we're going through each of these 12 exercises about twice for 20 seconds each. So we're hitting each main muscle group twice today, or I should say each stretch twice today. We may hit some muscle groups more than once. Go and switch over to your other leg one more time on this side. Same thing, about 20 seconds. So just to reiterate a point I made earlier, stretching each muscle at least 20 to 30 seconds is ideal. So you want to stretch each muscle group at least 20 to 30 seconds, or at least 2 times each time you stretch. All right, go and bring it back up to the top. So we stretched out our inside of our legs, we stretched out our calf muscles. We'll come back to some leg muscles for our next stretch. We'll give our legs a break here for a moment. We're gonna stretch out a stretch that's gonna stretch out some of our chest muscles, our shoulder muscle, but also our triceps at the same time. So this is a really good stretch to stretch out all of those. This is an overhead tricep / shoulder / chest stretch. So I'm gonna extend one arm above my shoulder. I'm gonna bend at my elbow here. And I'm gonna pull my elbow back behind my head as far as I can. And you'll start to naturally feel a stretch in the back of your arm. You'll feel that in your chest a little bit, maybe your shoulder, but especially down your tricep and your armpit area. Once you're there, hold that stretch. Again, we're gonna hold this for about 10 more seconds. I'll try to move to different angles so you can kind of see what my arm looks like behind my head. Now we're gonna switch to the other side. Same thing with the other arm. Bending at my elbow, I'm gonna pull my elbow back with my opposite hand. I'll switch to this side so you can kind of see what my arm's doing here. And again, holding that stretch, feeling that especially in my tricep, the back of my arm, a little bit of my shoulder, a little bit of my chest muscle. All right, we're probably about 20 seconds here. Same thing on the other side. We'll do this one more on each side. And again, feeling that stretch again, just to reiterate a couple things as we're going through these. Any pain from these, I'm not trying to get you to a point of pain. If you feel any pain, bring it back just a little bit. Go ahead and switch over to your other arm one more time. Same thing on this side. Not a bad thing to feel a little bit of discomfort during a stretch. Not a bad thing. But once you get to that pain level, not necessarily what we're going for today. And go ahead and release that arm. So we've done our first three stretches from our standing position. We're gonna make our way down to the floor for this next one. Now this one you've probably seen before too if you've been in any of my other group camps. This is an exercise that you can make more intense, but this time we're gonna make this more of a stretch. So you're gonna lay back on the floor here, feet flat on the ground, knees up. I'm gonna push my hips up, but this time I'm gonna hold a hip bridge position. So you're gonna hold a hip bridge. We're stretching out some of our hip flexor muscles here. If you're having a hard time holding your hips up, just put your hands on each side of your hips there on your butt. Help pull your hips up. You're gonna feel a stretch in the front there. We'll hold this one about 5 more seconds. And then we'll give ourselves a break. Go ahead and bring your hips back down. We'll pause for about 10 seconds, then we'll go back up to that hip bridge one more time. My watch here, and go ahead and push your hips back up to the ceiling. Again, if you need help holding your hips up, it's okay if you put your hands on each side of your hips or under the small part of your back. Hold that. Again, we're stretching out our hip flexor muscles, which are one of the tightest muscles in our body because of sitting all day. About 5 more seconds here. And bring it back down to the floor. Not only did you probably feel that in your hip flexors stretching out, you probably felt that in your butt muscles a little bit. You're working your butt muscles just by holding that position. We're gonna make our way back up to our feet. I know we're working a lot of our leg muscles, but our legs are some muscle groups that need the most stretching. We've stretched out some other muscles in our legs, but now we're gonna stretch out our quadricep muscles, the front part of our legs. I have this chair here. If you need to use a chair or a table, it's a good one to help with balance. It's not gonna decrease the quality of your stretch if you need help holding onto a chair or to balance holding onto something. We're gonna go into a quad stretch. I'm gonna pull up one foot behind me toward my butt here. I wanna keep my knees somewhat close together, and then I'm gonna keep my chest up nice and tall. This one is definitely stretching out the quad muscles, those front leg muscles, but you'll also probably feel that in your hip flexors, those muscles right in the front of your hips. We're gonna hold this 20 seconds on each side. We'll go through this twice. Go ahead and switch over to your other side. Same thing on your other leg. You're on a stretch. So other health benefits of stretching. It improves your overall physical activity, increases blood flow to your muscles. So you might feel your body starting to warm up a little bit. Your blood flow is increasing the muscles, which is a good thing. We're switching over to the other leg one more time. 20 seconds on the first leg. While you're holding that stretch, there's somebody else waiting in here. I'll get them in so they can see where we're at with the stretches. So again, holding that quad stretch. Go ahead and switch over to your other leg one more time. Thank you for those of you that are joining now. We are working on our quad stretches. So your quadricep muscle, you're standing here in our standing position, holding up one foot back toward our butt. But we're done with the quad stretch. So we've gotten through our quad stretch here. We are going to make our way back down to the floor. One thing we haven't really stretched out too much yet are our abdominal muscles. Now, this is a really good stretch for our abdominal muscles. This one, I'm going to call this one the cobra. Most of the time it's referred to as a cobra position. We're going to go down on our stomachs here initially, laying down flat on our stomachs, hands flat on each side about chest level. I'm going to slowly push my chest away from the floor as far up as I can, extending my arms. Now, if you have trouble getting all the way up to this position, that's okay. Just go to your elbows and forearms and hold that position. Again, pushing your chest and stomach away from the floor, looking away from the floor, eyes forward. So again, you're gonna feel that stretch in your abdominal muscles, especially. So holding this position here, these muscles get really tight too from sitting all day. We're gonna bring it back down. We're gonna do this one more time. I'm gonna give our stomach about 10 seconds to recover. We're gonna go back to that same stretch. Our cobra stretch. So we're stretching our abdominal muscles mostly on this one. Go ahead and slowly push yourself back up. Nice steady breathing. Breathing is also a very important part of stretching. Nice steady breath in and out. I know some of these muscles might be really tight. Some days might be really uncomfortable for you to stretch out. That's a good thing. If you're feeling uncomfortable right now, that's probably because those muscles needed to be stretched out. So not a bad thing to feel that way. And slowly bring it back down. Okay, so we'll give our abdominal muscles a break there. We're gonna make our way up to our knees now. So for just a moment, we're gonna be in what's called a runner's lunge stretch. So a runner's lunge does stretch out some abdominal muscles a little bit, but also our super tight hip flexors. Again, one of the tightest muscles because of how long we sit throughout the day. I'm gonna put one foot forward, knee over my front foot, other knee back. I'm gonna keep my chest up as tall as I can. I'm gonna slowly push my hips forward. As I push my hips forward, you're gonna feel a stretch in front of your hips, the side of your hips of the knee that's down on the floor. Once you feel that, hold right there. Slowly bring it back. Go and switch over to your other side. Same thing, chest up tall, front foot on the ground, knee above your front foot, pushing your hips forward, and you start to feel a stretch in your hips of your other leg now, the front of your hip of your other side. Okay, we'll hold this about 10 more seconds, then we'll switch over to our other side again here. But again, increases blood flow to the muscles, calms your mind, helps decrease tension headaches, other benefits of stretching. Go and switch over to our other side. We'll do this other side one more time. Chest up nice and tall, pushing your hips forward. Feel the stretch in the front of your hips, maybe even a little bit of your quad muscles, your lower abdominal muscles, all getting stretched on this one. Holding this stretch about 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go and switch over to the other side one more time. Last time on this side. Runner's lunge stretch, pushing forward, holding the same stretch. Remember, chest up nice and tall, keeping your eyes forward. You can rest your hands on your front knee there, that's fine. And really stretching those muscles out. These are as some of you may have missed, these are some of the main muscle groups as recommended by the American College of Sports Medicine that need to be stretched out the most. And bringing it back from that runner's lunge. Our next stretch, we're not going to stand up just yet. We are going to go back down now to a seated position. We've stretched out somewhat of the inside of our legs, but now we're going to stretch out some of our pelvic and groin muscles. We're going to go to what's called a butterfly stretch. So we're going to bring our feet together in the middle here, knees out to the side, sitting up nice and tall. You can grab your ankles with your hands, and then what you're going to do here is slowly push. Use your elbows to push your knees down toward the floor slowly. Once you get to a point where you feel a really good stretch, you're going to feel that again, you're growing your pelvic muscles. But as soon as you feel a good stretch, hold right there. We're going to do this twice. As you probably know right now, we're going to hold this stretch twice for about 20 seconds. Let's about 5 more seconds here. And get yourself to a point where you feel a little discomfort. And go and let your legs relax for a moment. Bring it back up together in the middle. Let those muscles relax for a second. So we are at our butterfly stretch. So again, our butterfly stretch, stretching out the inside of those leg muscles closest to our pelvic bone. So go ahead, same thing one more time, 20 seconds. Go ahead, slowly push your knees toward the floor. Try to keep that chest up, eyes forward, feeling the stretch on the inside of your legs. Nice steady breathing here. You might feel yourself warming up. You might even be sweating a little bit. That's not necessarily because your heart rate increasing, but more so because of blood flow increasing to your muscles as they are being stretched out, which again is a good thing. Increasing blood flow to your muscles is a very, very healthy good thing. All right, and bringing it back up to your resting position. We are going to make our way back up to the floor now, or to our standing position. Now this one, we haven't really stretched out specifically our hamstring muscles yet. So with our hamstrings here, we're going to go into what's called a neutral hamstring stretch. So with your neutral hamstring stretch, we're going to have one leg forward, heel on the ground, other knee bent under my hip. So my foot under my hip, other knee bent, other leg extended, not bending my front knee there. I'm going to hinge forward at my hips. So keeping my chest and back straight, I'm going to hinge forward at my hips here. As I hinge forward, you're going to feel the stretch in the back of your extended leg. So this leg, this muscle here in the back, your hamstrings, these muscles in the back of your legs, I should say. As you hinge forward, you're going to feel that stretch. Hold that position about 5 more seconds, because you're probably already in that position. And slowly bring it back up. This is another one, if you need to hold on to a chair or a table, that's totally fine just for balance. Same thing, we're going to switch over to the other side, other knee, or I should say other leg extended, heel on the ground, not bending the front knee. Other foot though, below my hip, bending that knee. direct my angle so you can see this. And then same thing, I'm gonna hinge forward, and I'm stretching out the back of that, those hamstring muscles in the back of my leg. So again, chair, table, if you need something for balance, totally fine. Or if you just want to put your hands on your other knee there, that's totally fine too. So switch it up over to the other side. Same thing, we're hitting our first leg one more time. So slowly hinging forward, letting yourself naturally stretch out those hamstring muscles. It's called a neutral hamstring stretch, meaning it's a passive way of stretching your hamstrings because as your body moves, you're naturally stretching out the back of your leg there. And slowly bring it back over one more time to our other side. Same thing, about 20 seconds. Once you feel a really good stretch, if you get to the point where you have to start bending your knee, that's a little too far. You only want to stretch as far as you can without bending that front knee and feeling a good stretch in the back of your leg. Here we go. And slowly bring it back up to the top here. We're almost through this. I know we have about 5 or 6 more minutes, but we only have 2 or 3 more stretches left, so we're almost there. Now, this one, we're gonna make our way back down to the floor. So we're gonna get onto our backs this time, laying down on our backs. I'm gonna keep one foot flat on the ground. I'm gonna bring my other leg, the ankle, to the top of my thigh, just in front of my knee. So, as I lay back, I'm gonna pull my leg toward me. So grabbing my front ankle here, pulling this leg toward me, I'm gonna stretch out. I'll show you from this side. I'm stretching out the outside of my leg muscles all the way down to my glutes. So this is a good glute stretch, those butt muscles that need stretched out too. You're pulling your leg toward your chest, toward your midline. Once you feel a good stretch all the way down your glutes, hold right there. We'll do both sides, of course, for 20 seconds twice. Just to a point where you feel that slight discomfort. And go and switch over to your other side, same thing of course. Other foot flat on the ground, other leg up. It's called a figure 4 stretch because from your point of view, your leg should look like an upside down 4. So that's why it's called a figure 4 stretch. Pulling a leg toward your chest, feeling that stretch from down the side of your leg, down to your glute muscles, your butt muscles. Nice steady breathing. Try to relax through these stretches. Go and switch over your other side, same thing on our first leg. Slowly pulling, again, trying to pull your ankle toward you, but keeping your knee out. So as you do that, you're gonna stretch out those specific muscles down the side of your leg to your glutes. So if your knee starts coming in, use your other arm to push your knee out as you pull your ankle toward you. Go and switch over to our other side one more time, same thing, same thing one more time on our last leg that we started with. And then again, feeling that stretch out. There you go. I know I needed these stretches probably just as much as you. Bringing it back. So we're done with the figure 4 stretch. This next one, you can do this from a seated position. You can do it from a standing position. We haven't stretched out our neck muscles yet, which again, our neck muscles can get really tight depending on if we sleep in a weird position or if we're sitting in a weird, not a great ergonomic position while we're typing at a computer. So, neck stretch. I'm gonna have you reach up and over to the other side of your head, your temple, the other side of your head. You're gonna pull your head, bringing your ear toward your opposite shoulder. So ear down toward your shoulder. You're gonna feel a stretch on the outside of your neck. Once you feel a good stretch, hold that position. We're gonna do, of course, about 20 seconds on each side. Now I know I keep saying 20 seconds. It's okay if you stretch it a little longer. Anything more than 30 seconds at a time isn't necessary. Go switch over to your other side. And over stretch. So if you hold the stretch too long, you can actually get to a point where you overstretch. So that's why the American College of Sports Medicine recommends holding them for about 20 to 30 seconds, giving them a break, and then doing it again. So holding each stretch twice for each muscle. And slowly bringing it back up to the top, releasing slowly. And then we're gonna go over to that first side again one more time. Feeling a stretch in the outside there, your neck muscles on the opposite side of your neck there. For about 5 more seconds. Slowly releasing back up. Same thing over to the other side one more time. Same thing, feeling that stretch. Once you feel that stretch, hold right there. Still taking some nice, easy breaths in and out. We're almost there, guys. Almost there. One more left. Go ahead and release your head back up to our first position. last stretch. I know we've been up and down a lot. That's intentional to give some of those muscles a break while we focus on other stretches. Our final stretch here, and then we're done. Final stretch is our lying knee to chest stretch. So what that's gonna look like, hamstring muscles, again, another muscle group that can be extreme. One of the most important muscles to because that's the main muscle groups that stabilize our knees. A lot of times that we have problems with our knees is actually because of weak or tight hamstring muscles. So that's why it's so important to stretch out our hamstrings and our glutes. So now we're gonna go back down into our lying position. I'm gonna one leg extended. I'm gonna bring my knee up. I'm gonna enter my finger on the outside of my knee, laying back and pull my knee toward my chest as far as I can. Once I get to a point where I can't bring it any further, hold right there. You're gonna feel that stretch on the back of your leg, all the way down your glute muscles a little bit. Holding here, of course, on each side for approximately 20 seconds. Go and slowly release your leg down. We're gonna grab the other leg, same thing. My knee toward my chest as far as I can. Do that again down the back of your leg, your hamstrings, down your glute muscles. I feel some tightness in there. I would have not be surprised again if you are feeling quite a bit of tightness there. That's totally fine. That's very common. But it just helps you to know that these are muscles you need to stretch out. Go and switch over to that other side one more time. Feeling that stretch down the back of your leg. This 5 more seconds. We'll switch over one more time and then we are done. And we're pretty much right at 12:30, so that's good time. Go and switch over to that other leg one last time. This is our final stretch of the day. And then I will get you back to your afternoons. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. Remember, next Monday is modified exercises. The following Monday after that, to end Physical Fitness Week, is our breathing and meditation exercises. So hopefully you'll be able to join over those next couple weeks. You can make your way back up to your feet, or if you want to stay seated, that's totally fine. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your day for these. And hopefully, if you have others that might want to join these, let them know next Monday, same time, 12 o'clock, the following Monday after that, same time, 12 o'clock. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It was great having you. If you do have any questions, you can email wellnesscoach@transitchicago.com. Send me an email if you do have any questions or concerns or anything you would like to ask. I'm happy to help. Have a nice day, everyone, and it was great to see you, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you.